Lineup of my friends. That's me in the yellow shirt there. The Yamaha, that's a YZ80 1975. YZ80, just got it and just getting into racing it, and it's probably 1976. And this is, I'm pretty sure, a place called, it's either Indian Dunes or a place like that we raced. I know the video quality is pretty poor on this, and but it gives you an idea. It almost gives you a feel it's really old. All that smoke coming out of those two strokes coming off the line. And yeah, we're on a regular race circuit. We did the AMA District 37 in Southern California. A lot of desert racing and things like that. And this particular place was near the desert. It had lots of hills and things. I'm not even sure it's still open. And but it was a center for a lot of different race clubs that put on races out here. And you can see I would go up over the hill and stuff. My dad is doing the filming, I think, in this part here. So you'll see me come by when the video follows me. I'll be on my YZ80 zipping along. I look pretty small. I was about 13 years old. There I am, going through, getting ready to pass the guy in front of me on the 250 or whatever he was on. And there's me again. See my Yamaha shirt and my silver helmet. And I think I got first place in this race and actually got a trophy in the 80. Well, it was 0 to 100 classification, and it was pretty sure pipe plate. Pipe plate means that it's unclassified. So I hadn't yet gotten into District 37 where they classify you either as beginner, novice, amateur, or expert, and then even pro after that. So it kind of fades in and out. The video is not the best quality again, but it's coming from one of those, basically those wind up 8mm cameras. And that guy that just went by is a friend of mine named Brady Budd. There he goes. He's got his helmet. Looks like he just got shot out of a cannon. And that thing around his waist is a kidney belt. Don't wear those so much anymore, but back supports and stuff. We kind of improvised back then. We didn't always wear the high-tech equipment they have now. This is the sidecar race, and we actually, for our club, we had at least 2 entries, and then also we raced with a club called SoCal, or Southern California motorcycle team. Our team was the Islanders MC, Islanders Motorcycle Club. And so this is always an exciting race. They don't do this so much anymore. They still race some sidecar in Europe, but not as a regular class as far as they know in AMA District 37. And it was exciting. Some of these bikes were old school bikes. I mean, they're still racing some maybe Triumphs, things like this in this time. Mostly 4-strokes, multi-cylinders, 2 cylinders up to 4 cylinders. And as you can see, that monkey, the guy on the sidecar, hanging way out there. He's trying to keep the balance going. You can watch some more videos, European sidecar racing, just going on YouTube. This is our team right here. A friend of mine, Ron Whitaker, Ron Whitaker, yeah, and I'm not sure who his monkey was at that time. It may have been Gordy McLean, a really good friend of mine and one of my mentors for riding motorcycles. They were on a 450, I'm pretty sure, their Honda that they had made into it. And that was Ron sitting in the chair. Another friend of mine, Ed, there. This is what you did in between races. And all the guys that came that didn't race, they would sit on the side of the track and drink a lot and make trouble, have a good time. Dogs were there. It was a real family and kind of crazy environment. Us guys that were racing, especially the young guys, we would sleep underneath the cars at night. We didn't have any campers or anything like that. If we were lucky if we had a tent. This particular one, race here, they're going to be showing in a minute, is at Riverside International Raceway. So one of my buddies there races a Suzuki, poor guy, and his girlfriend. And maybe some of these guys will see these videos and they can put in some comments. You can see back then a lot of our leathers, the pants we wore were not real modern Kevlar stuff. A lot of times it was just denim with pads sewn into them. So, it helped a bit when you went down, but it didn't have the modern protection. So yeah, this is Riverside International Raceway, and that spot shown right there is for basically the Indy type, Formula One type, big oval that they used. And not sure what type, but they would allow motorcycles to come in here every year, and this is called a Grand Prix. So that means you did a little bit of asphalt, but mostly off-road. And then back to the night scenes here, everybody's having fun and hanging out. And our camp was right next to the straightaway. So in the straightaway, you get guys even on dirt bikes going over 100 miles an hour. I went around the big sweeper curve once in an RN 370, going a little too fast, and almost laid it down at about 90 miles an hour. It was pretty exciting for the bystanders. That's the famous mud hole right there. Some later races, they have a jump over that mud hole. You could either go through the mud hole or jump over it. You can see the crowds are pretty big. A lot of people come out, especially because it was right there in Riverside. It wasn't too far out there. This raceway has been long since closed. But yeah, and these bikes, these are all basically 70s bikes. You know, Yamahas, Suzuki's, Kawasaki's, Hondas, and then maybe a few Husqvarnas. Like I think that's my friend Castro. He always rode and this is a guy we call Bondo Man. They were from the SoCal race club, and they raced with Husqvarnas at the time. And another guy named Ron there, and a couple other Islanders there. This is my friend Ron Whitaker there. Rest in peace. He's gone now. And some of our other Islander guys there. Oh no, that's Ron there. Sorry, can't miss that big mustache. A little hard. Quality's not very good, but this is the straightaway. They start us off on the straightaway on an Indy course basically, and you go out around the big sweeper turn. And guys coming off that, if you didn't slow down, man, you hit dirt and hay bales, and some guys went down pretty hard because they just didn't get slowed down. Some of these sidecars, like the one some friends of mine rode, they called it the camera car, and it was a 750 Honda bored out to a 900, so it was fast. There's a couple Islanders here, and unfortunately they got their engine wet and killed it right there. This is other Islanders on the 450 there. I can't remember who was riding in this particular race. Some of these bikes went back and forth between team members. Okay, so that was the racing. It was a little bit short there. And this is some skateboarding from the 1970s. It's pretty fun. This is at our school, believe it or not, and every weekend we make these ramps and then take them down. And if you notice underneath them, the one on the side there's a bench. It's one of the picnic benches we eat lunch on. And so we'd set up and ride skateboards. That's Joel Worth there. He's gone now as well. Rest in peace. He's skateboarding with Jesus now, I'm sure. But he was the best of us. He just got better and better. There's another guy named Steve Brinkman, good friend, good guy, and yeah, I think that was me falling down there. I'm doing most of the filming, so I'm not getting much. I'm pretty sure that's John Vickers there. I can't tell for sure. And then Joel Worth going at it again. He was pretty tricky. Watch that. Yeah, do the 180 backwards or whatever it was. And yeah, skateboarding was really big in the 70s. Then it went out for a while. Now it's come back. It's a little bit different style. And yeah, this is our school, Avalon High School on Catalina Island. And we would gather up here every weekend and ride skateboards. The youth pastor at my church, his dad owned Hobie skateboards. So every once in a while he'd bring some decks over, some skateboards. That were blends, like maybe they would just have a little cosmetic error and they'd have to toss them out, so he'd bring a stack of those over for us guys. Recording. So we're back on again, and that's my friend Jerry Holiday there. That's me filming in a mirror so you can see what I was using. This little kind of wind up 8mm, had actual film in it. There weren't any cassettes back then, and there was nothing digital, so we had a lot of fun. I was painting a shed, just a little bit of trick photography there in my backyard. Again on Catalina Island, there it is again. And see, there's one of those Hobie skateboards I told you about. I think that one was called the Maharaja. That's some pretty good names for them. And this is a little bit later. You can see we progressed in our ramp building. And they would get a little bit bigger. Eventually we ended up building a 36-foot half pipe in my backyard. This is still at the school. And this is Jerry Holiday. He was pretty good, a lot better than I was. And there's me. I do most of the filming, so I end up falling off a lot. You might notice in the background there's a little motorcycle sitting there. It's a CT70, a Honda. And those are really big on Catalina. These little fat wheels, they have great gas mileage, and they go almost anywhere. And so lots of people have them. Jeez, my skateboard flying through the air, and me being goofy. That's back when I had long hair. Now I don't have any hair. So quite a contrast. But I'm 60 now, and I was, what, maybe 13 there. So time doth fly. Alright, very good. I actually made it back and forth a couple of times there. Yeah, we had a good time back then. And that's it. There's me.